morning, everyone. So, equipment management is very essential in running a construction site or in running a construction firm, because based on statistics, 30% of a project cost is considered to be the equipment cost itself. So 30% may not be that big, but if you compare it to a 1 million budget, 30% is 300,000, which is a lot in actual. So we have created a program that can help manage the equipment. So it calculates the number of hours it takes to excavate a specified volume, and it also presents the total cost. So here you can plan out ahead or visualize as to how you're gonna use your excavator. So for our program, we have this part, which is the input data. So we display first excavation planning program, which is our program, and then this part is where we take the input. So this is where we take the excavation volume. So it displays enter the excavation volume in cubic meters, and then you type in your excavation volume in a number format. So we also have checking for that. So if the excavation volume is greater than 0, it will just proceed normally. But if the excavation volume is lesser than 0, it will display invalid input. Please enter a positive number for the excavation volume. And then after that, it will display the excavator models, which is another input. So it will display 5 models. It will display the PC60, PC130, PC160, PC200, and PC220, which is numbered 1 to 5. And then here we have the code for the input. So it will display again, enter the number corresponding to the model 1 to 5. And then if you type number 1 to 5, it will just proceed normally. If not, it will display invalid choice. Please enter a number from 1 to 5 corresponding to the excavator model. And then after that, it will ask again for another input that will be corresponding to the excavator model. And then another input is the client's budget with validation, of course. So it will display enter the client's budget in pesos or numbers only. And if the budget is inputted accordingly, it will just proceed. But if the budget is lesser than 0, or if the format is wrong, it will display invalid input. Please enter a valid numeric value for the budget until it gets the proper format for the client's budget. And then for the next step, we have the definition of our excavator models and their output rates and their cost per hour. So for the PC60, we have 15 cubic meters per hour and then 2,000 pesos per hour. So this goes on. So PC130, 32.25, PC160, 40.35, PC200, 50, 37.50, and PC220, 16, 4,000. And then this part is the calculation, or this is the calculator for our program. So we also have set new variables. So for selected model, it is the excavator model plus the chosen model choice. And then for the excavation rate, it is the excavation rate for the specific model choice pick. And then for the hourly cost is the cost for the model choice pick. And then for the total hours, you compute it by excavation volume over excavation rate. And then for total days, total hours divided by 8, and then we round it off to the nearest ones. So if it's 7.5, it will turn to 8, because we always assume an 8-hour workday, because that's the standard in a construction workplace. So total cost is total hours times hourly cost. And then this part is where you display the results, which will be explained by Juvie.
So for the next step, this will show the result of the client's budget. So first, it displays the excavation planning result. So for the planning result, it shows here the excavator model and then display the selected models. For the excavation volume, it displays the E volume, and then the excavation rate, it displays the output excavation rate. For the total hours required, it displays the total hours, and then working days, it displays the total days. Hourly cost, it displays the hourly cost and the total cost. So if the total cost is lesser or equal to client's budget, it displays where it shows good news, the total cost fits within the client's budget. If not, it displays the total cost exceeds the client budget, and then it shows the suggested alternatives. So for the suggested alternatives, there's a computation where I equals length times the model, and then the alternative cost equals to E volume over E rates times I, then times E cost, then I. So if the alternative cost is lesser or equal to client's budget, it displays you can use the model with the total cost which fits the budget.
So for our demonstration, we'll now input the 200 excavation volume, and then after that we will choose the PC160, which is number 3, and then we will set a budget of 17,000 pesos. So as you can see that the total cost is 17,500. Yet the client's budget is only 17,000. So it displayed 3 suggestions, which you can use the PC130 with a total cost of only 15,625. You can also use the PC200, which can only cost 15,000, and the PC220 with a total cost of 13,333.33 cents. So now we will try a different excavation volume and a different client's budget, so we can test it out if it actually works, if the client's budget fits the total cost.
So here we will input 1000 cubic meter, and then we will select the third choice, which is the PC160, and then the budget is 150.
50,000.
So here you can see the total hours required, 25 hours, then the working days, which is 4 days, and then the hourly cost, which is 3.5 per hour, and then total cost is 87,500. And then here it will display that the total cost fits within the client's budget of 150,000.
So the very importance of this project is to visualize your equipment, especially when it is utilized in the construction site. So you won't get scammed easily, especially if you use other people's rental company. So they won't overprice you for quotations, and you would know what's wrong and what's right. So that's a very importance of our program. So that would be all, and thank you.
Thank you.